bravest souls the wild wet frontier.
Most rugged men from round here.
Their eager gear do never fear the monsters of the deep. We men are beasts for silver hull, we risk our lives and limb. We laugh in the face of howling waves, and sometimes we do sing. Hark the hear the fishermen sing of fish and sea and sky. I long to taste the mighty fish in my stargazy pie. Hark the hear the fishermen sing of fish and sea and sky. I long to taste his mighty fish in my stargazy pie. How valiant his hand and noble his eye.
Hurling in the fish.
His eyes alive like mackerel skies.
How grisly is his taste.
With pride they wear perfume or fish.
And nothing do they fear.
The ladies swoon when they return to hand out fish. Like heroes.
Once upon a time there lived two fishermen,
who spent their days in a yellow boat called Brightside,
bobbing from Rivermouth to Craggy Cove in the hope of finding fish.
At the helm, Francis Payne Garfish, owner of the boat, who'd look wistfully to the bow where you most often find
Leslie's boy, first mate and lead deckhand, arms outstretched, singing like Celine Dion.
Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that my heart will go on. Looking for fish in the ocean below. Here, France, I saw something.
Fish?
I think so. I saw a shimmer.
Let me see. Oh, that's Molly.
Oh?
Molly, the mermaid.
You kissed her?
What? No? Well, once. It was dark. Well, she kissed me. Why?
No reason, just wondered.
Look, it didn't mean nothing, Leslie's boy. You hear me? It was just a stupid kiss.
In France, I see fish!
Fish!
We've hit the motherland!
Drop the nets! Leslie's boy was actually a girl.
The advert in the Hale Parish News said fisherman wanted for boy and crew.
So Leslie's boy
Father was called Leslie,
wore a stick-on moustache to the interview at Passmore Edwards.
but didn't take the time to think up her name.
Right. Sit down.
What? Here?
Yeah. What's your name then, lad?
Rose.
Rose?
Rose! Man, oh, hairy chestman, fisherman, man.
Rose, man, oh, airy chest man, fisherman, man.
Me dad picked it.
Leslie.
You know him?
Oh, yeah. Father worked with Bob Albans. I thought he only had a daughter.
Oh, yeah, so did he at first, but turns out, moustache, a man, a fisherman, man.
You, got rod and reel?
Yeah,
Stick on boats?
no,
Mind if I call you Leslie's boy?
fine.
Welcome aboard. Leslie's boy had wore the same stick-on moustache for the past 9 years.
She not wanting to take it off for fear of losing her job and the chance to spend her days close to the man who had caught her out in his nets.
And he, in love with her, suspecting it was a fake, not wanting to bring it up in case he scared her off.
So she wore it.
And he adored it.
One day, if it blew off in a storm and stuck right on his head
She, thinking fast, grabbed some bladder-wrack from the deck.
and held it to her lip
And they stood close enough to kiss.
in the wind and salty spray,
Eyes locked and hearts pounding.
neither looked away. In the end, Francis peeled it from his brow.
And gently placed it back on her lip.
Never spoke of it again. She just walked wistfully to the bow.
And he turned his back to face the fearsome wind and howled, I love you, Leslie's boy!
And she, pretending not to hear, shouted, I love you too! But her words carried on a storm and disappeared. This is some bloody old!
Doesn't matter why your heart beats when you're at sea, when your sails back will flutter and you're weak at the knees, when your rigging gets you singing and your flags blow free. Doesn't matter why your heart beats when you're at sea. Sail away,
On the ocean of love,
sail away,
on the ocean of love,
sail away on the ocean of love. Sail away, my darling. I remember those days.
I remember when the sea was clear and blue.
And on calm days you could see down to the ocean floor below. Oh, I remember the sunsets.
I remember laughing, trying to catch hold of 1,000 slippery fish.
and the deck just shimmering silver at dusk as we sail on.
It was in the mouth of the Hale River on such a summer's evening that we first encountered
Colossus. And heavy anchors dropped in our hearts.
Colossus was a trawler.
She cleans canister out of the water,
Cat like Brightside.
sending us with our lifeless catch to the outgoing tide.
Colossus just thundered on by, the crew looking down at us from the deck, miles above.
We, neither being able to swim, clung to the wrong side of Brightside side, shouting, "Save our souls! Save our souls!" And they, in reply, shouted,
We don't save our souls.
and they rolled about laughing as they sailed on by. Now, I still don't get it. We don't save our souls. It's just not funny.
I think there was something wrong with that crew.
Either way, Brightside was never right again. She'd faltered nervously as we left the safety of the harbour.
And it didn't matter anyway, because before long, most of the fish were gone.
A trawler sucks up fish like a vacuum.
Big ones,
Small ones,
tiddlers,
mermaids, everything.
swallowed by a boat's giant hungry belly before being spewed forth on the quay.
Oh, you should have seen the ladies swoon.
It was ridiculous.
All of Hale was all, "Ooh, Colossus this, Colossus that." No one ever looked at Brightside again.
Nick Useless, the owner of Colossus, married Molly with the mermaids.
Though the honeymoon period was short-lived.
Kept with a tag down the quay where tourists could look for a quiz.
I used to go talk to her. She'd pretend to be happy. Sometimes, when the tide was high, I'd change her water. As for Leslie's boy and me, well, we saw each other less and less.
We didn't drift apart.
And I was always thinking of her.
We just had less cause to spend our days together.
There's only so many times you can prep the gear and clean the boat and don't go out to sea. And then, one day, it came to me, tourists' rides, Hale to St. Ives. The next morning, the sun rose into a pure blue sky. Knock, knock, knock. And a door opened into the golden light.
Francis?
Leslie's boy,
Yes?
you're in your pajamas.
Yeah?
They're pink.
Yeah.
And you've had a shave.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes?
want to
Yes?
start doing tourist rights?
Oh, Francis, yes! The next morning at 6 a.m.
Leslie's boy wore her old overalls proudly down to the quay.
A brand new moustache.
And a smile just for me. Brightside shone like the sun, cutting a path down Hale River as we headed out to the sea. The engine didn't miss a beat, though my heart did.
Though both our hearts did. We glided across Carbis Bay, recounting tales of the good old days. And the tourists basked in the warmth of our laughter and the salty spray of the waves.
This is how I'd like to live, Leslie's boy. Just you, me, and this boat.
Yeah, me too, France. Long may Brightside float.
For a while, we lived in paradise.
Each season bringing a new wave of tourists.
We took fishing.
Or on day trips to St. Ives.
But the world around us was changing, and change is an unstoppable tide.
Colossus kept on fishing, but had to venture further and ever further from our shores, for there are no real fish round here.
A few strays, but nothing more.
One day we took a fishing party out round Carbis Bay.
I watched Leslie's boy cast the rods for the boys on deck. Oh, what a thing of grace. She could hit 180 yards with just a flick of her wrist. I must have watched that line return 1,000 times with nothing. But then, we caught something I couldn't unsee.
France, we're on, we're on!
I watched the rod bend as the line took the strain and the lad reeled excitedly. I waited with Gertrude, the trusty gut hook knife.
It's a mackerel!
Cried Leslie's boy as the fish flipped frantically on the deck. But to my eye, the fish looked withered.
She's a tiddler.
She was a tiddler, but her belly was swole right up.
Pregnant?
No, don't think so. I wish I'd thrown that fish back in, but it must have been instinct, I suppose. I snapped her neck, opened her belly, and then the world just froze.
Her belly was full of plastic. Beads, bits of old shopping bag, even a lighter, half filled with gas. What the hell?
I threw the fish back fast before the boy's beady eyes could see what she had inside. Oh, darn! Must have slipped through my fingers.
You'll have to cover the line.
But inside I was suffocating.
And all the way home, we cried. We couldn't stop seeing it then. The plastic floating up the river, left blowing on the beaches by tourists. It all carried into the cove on a storm.
We'd often walk down the bluff together, hoping to find some peace of mind, but peace of mind was gone.
What are we gonna do, France?
Do? We can't do nothing.
We gotta do something.
Oh, like what, Leslie's boy? We've been living the lie too long. For now it's too late. We chose to ignore the truth, and through lying to ourselves, our paradise has decayed. Everything was a lie.
Everything.
No damn thing. Leslie's boy ran. Moustache turned off and thrown in the sand. Oh, that's right. Leaving me to pick it up. You know I will. I won't have no more fish harmed. All I heard the old man say, leave her, captain, leave her.
I'm going
Go
away,
ashore
but
and
I'll be
take
back.
her.
If
The
I go
time's
10,000
come to leave her. Leave her, captain,
10,000
leave her. Oh, leave her,
10,000
captain,
miles or
leave her.
and the rocks
The
may
voyage is
melt
done
and the
and
seas
the
may
winds do
blow.
blow, but it's
If
time
I no
for us to leave her. They built a supermarket down on Hill Quay. Can you believe it? I used to wait around in case Leslie's boy would pop in to do her shopping. She did once. We sat silently over a coffee. You stay well, yeah?
Yeah. You too, France.
Right on.
Right on.
I spent hours in that supermarket. Everything you touch in there, it turns to plastic. It's like a curse, a King Midas of the throwaway age. Oh, I used to love standing by that fish counter. I tell you, if I'd have had the money, I'd have bought the old lot, picked them up, tossed them on the deck, and invited Leslie's boy to watch them shimmering in the sun. I've been banned from there now, touching the fish, tearing them out their plastic. Well, it just looks so sadistic, all vacuum wrapped and heat sealed. I hit a low ebb. I let winter do its worst to Brightside, and I hardly left my room at Mother's cottage until one morning. Hale Parish Newsletter, front page, a picture of a dead whale in Hale, with the heading, Why the whales came.
The whole town was gathered on the Jew.
Leslie's boy avoided me.
We were all there through morbid curiosity, to see why she'd been stranded, to watch the gruesome autopsy.
Poor animal. So majestic, so huge.
From her stomach, they started pulling out what she'd been eating. Plastic bags. Plastic bags. 47 plastic bags.
She'd starved because her stomach was blocked by something so disposable as a plastic bag. 47 plastic bags. I was raging. Leslie's boy came and stood by me, Dad.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, I feel yours too. I'm sorry.
Me too, France.
And then, now this takes some believing,
Colossus roared up the river at dusk just as we were leaving.
the crew threw takeaway wrappers over the stern. I felt myself unreeling.
The crew were all laughing on deck, setting their giant nets as they sat.
To ravage the sea for the evening. I spent the night painting Brightside black. Black as death. And Leslie's boy made us outfits.
We dressed our pirates' dress.
Before we left, Leslie's boy went down to the quay to parley with Mermaid Molly. She told her she was there to set her free, but Molly told her she was in love and to just let her
Oh,
be.
this ain't love, Molly, trust me. And if you're still angry with me in a year, come drown me in the sea.
I heard a smash, a gasp, and a gush of water before Leslie's boy came back. Ready?
Ready.
We set a course into the dark, and we hoisted a pirate flag.
We reached Colossus just before dawn. far enough out so that no one could see, and we used our anchor as a grappling hook, and it worked perfectly.
The boat's greedy belly was full of fish, and the crew was there throwing the plastic they caught in their nets back overboard.
The owner of Colossus, Captain Useless, was on his mobile phone, receiving some heartbreaking news and the key back home.
But he hung up soon when he felt Gertrude my gut knife pressed against his throat. I could fillet you in 1,000 different ways. It's an old-fashioned skill sadly lost from the trade, but change is change and the tides will sway.
Let me go, you sad wannabe fisherman!
No! I replied. I nicked him with my knife. He screamed.
You're gonna regret that! Oh, we ain't fishermen no more. We were forced out that years ago. We're pirates now. We've come to take your boat. Pirates are a long time dead. They're all strung up by their throats.
Leslie's boy threw him overboard by his belt in a single throw.
Dad in the arms of his mermaid wife, who dragged him to the breathless depths below.
When we looked back up, we were surrounded by the twitching knives of a terrified crew. Cast the nets, boys!
Francis declared, putting away Gertrude.
Oh, it's over the side for you too.
Aye, aye, Captain, shouted the crew.
From now on, until the ocean is replenished, Colossus is trawling for plastic, and we'll put it back to fish.
Come on, let's move!
And as the sun rose, the sea found hope. Aboard Colossus, the mighty trawling boat.
Found 2 fishermen heroes. It found the pirates of plastic.
Leslie's boy tore off the moustache.
And they kissed.
Mwah!
And it was fab-blooming-tastic.
Bravest souls the wild wet frontier.
Most rugged man from round here.
Their eager gear do never fear the monsters of the deep. We men are beasts for silver hull, we risk our lives and limb. We laugh in the face of howling waves, and sometimes we do sing. Hark, hear the fishermen sing of fish and sea and sky. I long to taste mighty fish in my stargazy pie. Hark, hear the fishermen sing of fish and sea and sky. I long to taste mighty fish in my stargazy pie. How valiant is hand and noble is arm.
Pulling in the fish.
His eyes alive like mackerel
How
skies.
grisly is his case.
With pride they wear perfume or fish.
And nothing do they fear.
The ladies swoon when they return.